Guys, welcome to episode 40 of Motorsport Republica.
40 episodes.
Wow, I didn't know they could get it this far.
I didn't know we'd be allowed to go this far.
It's good to be back in the studio. We have been to a few different places.
Yeah.
We've spoken to some amazing special guests over the last month or two. So we thought we'll just have an episode to recap the news of Formula One, MotoGP, Supercars, and just go through what we've been doing the last month or two.
That's right. It's been good. No Daniel, unfortunately. This pod and last pod sick.
Yep.
Don't want him vomiting all over me, so let him heal up. But it's
Get well soon, Daniel.
Yeah, that's right. But it's been a big few weeks.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone that's come on. Jacob, Senna, Joel. They've been really, really nice people.
Yeah, really, really, and so surprising, these young kids. I mean, we consider ourselves young kids, and these 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are just so switched on.
And you can see like we've talked about it, but like just how focused they are, and how serious they are. And if you're listening to this right now and you haven't heard it, definitely listen to them, to Joel, Senna, and Jacob, because they're switched on.
Yeah,
they're very switched on. You can understand why they're in the position they're in.
Yeah, definitely. Jacob was the insight that he had on motorcycles, the bike he was going to ride this year, and then Senna, just ultra focused, like a almost robotic.
Yeah,
really interesting to listen to, and Joel's story as well, his upbringing, where he's come from. It really puts in perspective how much these guys deserve to be there, and how exciting it is for this year for having three young kids in the classes. So.
And it's so good because we've got to know them a little bit now, and it makes it even more. You don't need any more reason to watch it, but that gives that extra bit of reasons on why we should watch it and why we should support them. Because like if someone takes any of them out, I'm gonna be fucking launching at the TV.
Yeah. But even if you listen to our pod and you're a Formula One fan and you're on the brink of watching MotoGP, just give it a weekend and watch it. Watch the classes, watch the kids, and having Aussies in there just adds that little bit of spice to it.
Yeah, it definitely does. And they normally have a bit of a character as well. Like Jack Miller's a bit of character. So I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the season. Just for everything to come up. Like it hasn't felt like it's been that long. I feel like it's been the shortest break for Formula One or MotoGP, whatever, ever.
Yeah, I feel like it's been good for us because we've been in the scene.
Yeah, we've been in the mix of it, haven't we?
In the mix of it, yeah. And I think that's been so exciting for us just to have a look at the insides and what they're doing on the off season, the training they're still doing. It's a non-stop job.
Cycling's always the biggest one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I always love cycling. Standard, but that's what they always
do. So a few things to run through today. We've got probably the biggest news in Formula One in a very long time, Hamilton for Ferrari, which...
How do you feel about that? Actually, no, go on first. I need a whole paragraph from you first.
So we'll touch on that soon, and then we've got testing in Malaysia for MotoGP, which is exciting. Acosta looks like he's going to have a crazy first year.
That gas fuck, it looks good.
Some awkward news in the Supercars Championship. Their reigning champion Brodie Kostecki sitting out of the first round for still some unknown reason.
Yeah, Scotty Pye came out with some interesting stuff. I don't know if you saw that as well.
We'll touch on that.
Yeah.
I still want to delve in it with you, and let's talk about it as well. And then some motocross news as well. It looks like Jet's back on the bandwagon.
Yeah, and just tight championship. It's just good to watch.
So yeah, Hamilton.
Yeah, is it out of left field? Like, it's obviously out of left field because there was talks, remember, the start when we first started this podcast. It was one of our first reels.
Yeah.
Was Hamilton Ferrari.
We should get that out,
question mark, because it was a bit of news.
Yeah. It's obviously been in the pipeline for a while.
Yeah.
And kept under wraps, which is...
How do you do that in that sport?
Which is unbelievable. Yeah. And a multi-year deal. So I think we shared something on our Instagram the other day. It looks like it's a 2-year deal with options for a third. So,
yeah, okay.
So which is going to take him to almost 43 years old.
So that means, because Carlos Sainz is gone to Audi, isn't he? That's already sorted. Is that already a done thing?
No, not a done deal yet. No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not a done deal yet, but it looks likely.
Yeah.
Looks likely. And obviously there's a huge change in the cars 2026. So Hamilton coming into the Sport 25, racing Ferrari for a year, and then having his first year with those new generation cars.
Yeah. Yeah. So does that mean, okay, Hamilton's done the testing in the, in the simulator, whatever it is, and he's gone, all right, this car's not up for it.
I don't think so. I think he's probably made his decision a long time ago that he wants to finish his career there. Because I think, as we always talk about, it is the number one seat in F1.
Yeah.
To say you've been a Ferrari driver is
the pinnacle.
The pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we speak about this. You guys spoke about this at work the other day. Would you rather be a Red Bull driver, Ferrari driver?
Yeah.
It's like, would you rather be a Repsol Honda or a Ducati rider? It's a similar situation.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Him going into that Italian outfit with those, passionate Italians,
hot-headed,
with this Englishman coming in, and we can say he's got all the right to be an arrogant person because of how good he is, but it's going to be an interesting concept. I personally don't see it working unless the car is ultra quick, and his relationship with Leclerc is going to be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The other thing is, you got to remember, he's racing this whole year, already signed up to a new team. What is he going to bring from Mercedes to Ferrari and when he goes there?
Yeah, well, that's it.
They're going to be withholding information from him all year.
That's a whole year. But then you look at, what constructor standings are, like how much that means for money value.
100%, yeah.
Are they really going to hemorrhage? Lewis Hamilton because there is massive changes coming? Like, how much can he then bring onto those new changes in 2026?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And yeah, if he does, just say he goes on and dethrones Max because I still think this year it's Max's title. He's already won it.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I still think it's a fight for second place until we get to 2026. But if Hamilton goes out and wins 2026, does that change your what's that leave in his legacy?
Oh, it's
because bringing Ferrari back to the glory.
What Michael Schumacher did.
Yeah.
But it took a long time for Schumacher. People don't realize it took him 4 or 5 years to get that in that winning position.
And they almost booted him as well.
They did. I mean, it would change his whole legacy. It would change everything. If he retired now, compared to him winning a championship for Ferrari, he would be considered the best in the sport ever. We still have that argument of, well, he was in the best car for this many years, etc., etc. Yeah. So, and to beat Leclerc in that Ferrari as well, we know how talented he is especially over one lap. I was having this argument with our friend of the podcast, Mark Dandy, Bandana Man, and he thinks Max and Leclerc are both similar speeds, but my argument is Max over a 50-lap race is better than everyone on the grid.
Yeah.
One lap, Hamilton's thereabouts, Leclerc's there or thereabouts, but Max over a race distance, unbelievable.
He is. And he's proved that last year. I think Vegas proved that against Charles.
Against Perez in the same car.
Yeah,
with
true.
With a non-broken front wing. You got to remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
because that was the one round where I was like, oh, it doesn't even look like he might even win, and then he still comes back and takes over. Yeah,
there's a lot more to play out in this contract scenario with Ferrari as well. And we shared this on our page a few weeks ago, that I think what Lewis wants to do with his legacy is this Mission 44 charity that he's brought into the mix lately. So that's something where Ferrari seem like they can develop it for him. So there's a contract agreement.
What's Mission 44? Sorry.
Oh, it's his charity organization. So his legacy, put it that way. Right. So this is the thing. He's getting young girls into sport. He's getting young, misfortune kids into this sport, right? Where it usually was sort of that rich.
Yeah, for sure. Which is a good thing, I must admit. Like, it's how much talent has been wasted because they can't afford to get into the sport. Yeah,
so I think there's another thing with this contract. I don't know all the ins and outs. Obviously, no one does yet, but there would have had to be probably some sort of investment from Ferrari into that.
Yeah, and
I think that's probably what got him over the line as well. Yeah. So there's lots to delve into that. The other interesting thing, I saw an interview with his brother, Lewis Hamilton's brother, and he told him a few days before the news came out, and he was very secret because make sure you're by yourself, make sure there's no one hearing, because he just wanted to get this under wraps. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's massive. It's so you never see a contract being signed like a year out. Either.
I've never seen it happen ever.
Yeah, not in that sport. Not in like that high level motorsport.
No,
anyway.
he's got to race a whole year for a team that he's just... I think mid-season, yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, that's standard.
I don't even remember like a start of the season change.
No.
There are rumours that he's going to be in that Ferrari sooner rather than later, but don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's well, who's going to replace him? You reckon?
At Mercedes,
Yeah.
that's a great question.
Albon?
There's talks of Albon.
'Cause he was really good last year.
He was really good, but that year or two that he did at Red Bull when he got obliterated by Max is just going to hurt him forever.
Yeah.
So that's the only asterisk on his name.
Mm.
Obviously, he's got the talent, but it's the pressure of being in that top team. When he races for Williams, it's there's no pressure.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. I guess Perez was, McLaren for a bit, went back down to Force India, then went back to Red Bull at the same time. Maybe a few other teams in between. But, so it has happened.
Yeah.
Albon, yeah. Anyone else, you reckon?
I mean, there's talk of Mick Schumacher, but I just don't
saw
see a young... I know he's got the name, but the young kid to be out of the sport for 2 years coming into that Mercedes
Top team, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a big risk. Big risk. I mean, marketing dream. And I think Mercedes are going to need every help they can get with their marketing over the next... Losing Hamilton, like that was their boy for years, for 10 years. So, who knows? I mean, there's Schwartzman from Formula 2 who's a gun but just can't get a chance. You've got the likes of Piastri and Norris signing deals with McLaren. So, but what does a deal mean anymore? Hamilton had a deal for 25 with Mercedes. So
doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean shit. So there's money that's in this sport now. There's buyout contracts, redo contracts. I mean, Norris would be my pick, but he's just signed an extension. So
I just don't see him leaving though, do you? He looks like he bleeds that orange, or
I just don't think those two can't be in the same team. I just think they're too similar. Both young guns who are probably top 5, top 6 fastest on the grid at the moment. So.
Yeah, and you can't just rely on George Russell because I don't think he's not a big marketing dream, and I don't know how far.
But then you look at George Russell, how well he went in the Williams as well.
Yeah.
You compare that to Albon.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. And has Russell, I would say, probably just outperformed Hamilton last year, but still doesn't have that X factor that these guys have. Like the Piastris, I would say. Yeah. Like the Verstappen, obviously, and your Hamiltons and your Norrises and your Leclercs.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, people might be hating me for this. I'm not a huge rap for Carlos Sainz. I don't think he is as good as everyone says he is, personally. Him going to Audi, then building the team around him is probably the smartest decision he's going to make. If he just stayed at Ferrari, he's just going to be the second driver. Yeah. I don't even think that was his decision to leave anyway, but that'll soon find out. Yeah. And yeah, like you've got Pierre Gasly, who probably outperformed that car in 2022 and then had a poor 23. So there's so many drivers out there that just need a breakout season and they might get a chance at that Mercedes seat. Yeah. I think they'll wait until late in the season to pick.
Yeah, they're going to wait till someone really proves themselves.
Yeah. But who knows? I mean, there's talks of a few techs going to Ferrari following Hamilton as well. So Bono, who's his crew chief, there's talks of him following.
U2 lead singer.
Yeah.
Moonlights in the Formula 1.
Bono. So there's talks of him following as well. So we'll that's another thing you got to look at. Like, is this Mercedes' time? Is it finished? Is it a mid-level team now? We don't know. So
Surely not. I doubt it. They got too much money behind them as well, but
yeah,
fuck. There you go. It's all changing in the F1 world, I guess.
Yeah, it's this has made it as another aspect to this year, because this year was a bit of a transfer year. Because obviously they've got 2024, 2025. There's no real big rule changes. So this kind of thing is probably really good for the sport.
Did I hear correctly that they might not be doing drives to survive for this year?
No, it was sort of a marketing ploy when Gunter Steiner got the sack. Yeah. Because he is obviously the head of... Yeah. Well, he's the main star. He is. So that's another thing we haven't spoken about. Gunter Steiner. That's an interesting one. It looked like that he was asking to spend more money, and they just couldn't do it. So, which was interesting. They what he did with that team with the budget that he had is amazing. It really is amazing.
He's been around for years and years and years.
He used to be a crew chief at Red Bull.
Yeah,
back in the day. So he's gone from driving cars to obviously managing teams and stuff. So and he's a joker, but from all reports, he's a very good operator.
You'd have to be that top flight where there's that much money on the line. Man, you'd have to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Why do you get the flick?
Oh, I think it was the money situation.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I don't know the do's and the don'ts. He'll probably write another book or something that we can read and find more out. But
you reckon he'll get picked up by someone else?
I don't know. He's too big of a personality just to fit in, though.
Yeah.
I think he's either got to run a team or do nothing. Yeah. Like, he can't just be in the background.
Just a clown for a team.
He can't.
Just throwing spanners around.
Yeah, and it's like, do you take 2 steps back to do a job? It's always hard in that F1 paddock. So, we'll see. I mean, I think there's the longest serving team principals, Christian Horner, by a long stretch.
Yeah.
And then you've got, I believe, you should see the graph. It's like Christian Horner's been there for 14, 15 years, and then the next person's like 3 years. Yeah. And then everyone's first year. Like, it's amazing the turnover.
Yeah, that's full on.
So it's going to be interesting. The next 2 years are real transition periods of Formula One, but I think it's going to be really good racing, and I'm excited for it. My pre-season prediction of Mercedes going really well, maybe
falling
flat on its ass. So, because your interesting point you made, and it's probably circling my mind as you said it, is, has he gone and tested this car and gone, oh fuck, it's nothing amazing.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's logically, that's how. He's like, well, okay, do I have a massive contract? I can do a Ferrari. Do I gamble on that?
Yeah,
I'm at the end of my career.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
It's a really interesting one. I mean, it's a
team you want to be on. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, it's just crazy that I've been such a big Ferrari fan and such a nemesis of Hamilton. Well, I am Hamilton, such a nemesis, and it was just bound to happen, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. You hated you didn't like Sebastian Vettel all those years you went to Ferrari, and you're still a Ferrari fan, but
yeah, I know, but it's just interesting that Hamilton's that extra. Like, 2021 Abu Dhabi was best night of my life.
Yeah. Cried, didn't you? You and your dad cried and hugged 2 a.m.
Yeah, pretty much. Drove home, toot the horn,
waking up everyone through fucking Melbourne.
Yes, that was amazing. And after having 2 years of shit lockdowns in Australia, it was just a joyful moment. I don't know what it was.
It couldn't have been scripted any better.
No, it couldn't have been. And for the sport as well, with its popularity building. I mean, it couldn't have happened in a bit of time.
Yeah, that's right. With Max, though, like, he's just going to dominate again.
I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I mean, there's talk that this McLaren's a good car and the Ferrari's a good car and Mercedes is a good car. But the thing is, as Danby said, as he said, they're just going to be taking points off each other.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have to win probably 10 races of the year to win the championship, being a 23 race season. So
I think this year for Verstappen, there's going to be more of the same as last year. I can't see it changing. I can see McLaren improving and getting closer, to be honest, but I can't see it changing until next year when the rule changes are. Is it next year?
No, it's 2026. Yeah.
So 2 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see anything changing.
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. There's some news coming, rumours building for next year that Australia is going to be back to the first race of the season.
Oh, okay.
So
that's sweet.
Seeing Hamilton on a Ferrari for the first time.
Yeah, nice.
That's going to be really interesting. We might be able to get a ticket next year because we couldn't this year, too busy.
Yeah, no grandstand tickets this year.
So yeah, that's an interesting one, and they've tried to do it the last few years, and I think the popularity. I mean, 450,000 people come to that race.
It's one of the most popular races, though.
Yeah, second most attended, I think,
that's
after Austin, and we just couldn't fit any more people in. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you get millions and millions and millions more. Or sorry, 1 million probably if you could have fit more people in. So.
Well, we're going to Fab's penthouse, Daniel's cousin.
Yeah. He's got the private jet, the penthouse, the room at Chin Chin. So we'll be tagging along like little roadies.
Yeah, like little lost puppies, I reckon. I'm looking forward to Albert Park. It's always a good event.
It is always good. And they do such a good job. And we speak about that event versus Phillip Island's MotoGP. God help the the extra activities they have at the track. I mean, they got the Heineken stand at Formula One. It's a beautiful big stand, and then the GP gets the Miguel bloody paella.
Yeah, and you get the Cajun fucking fries, Cajun stand,
the Cajun wrap.
Yeah, the Cajun wrap. It's pretty good. With the rain blowing in sideways, everyone depressed. That's all right.
We're going to be a couple of weeks in Superbikes coming up soon as well.
Oh my God, Superbikes. So we're going to be down there. So whoever's listening, come see us.
Yeah.
We're going to be at the pub every night. But we're
going to be busy.
We're going to be fucking busy.
We have that much content coming out that weekend. We are going to be inundated. We're going to have some great special guests on. We're super excited. And we really appreciate, obviously, people giving us their time.
Yeah.
We are going to be busy boys, but it's very excited.
Yeah, very excited. But we are going to be flat out. So hopefully we should have all those guests. They should all come to fruition. Just about booked them all in. But if it all happens, which I'm sure it will, it's going to be it's going to be good. It's going to be busy, and there'll be some great content, some great listens as well. So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Superbikes in a few years, so...
Yeah, we missed out last year, so it's going to be exciting, and there's obviously a lot of changes in that category as well with different riders and, Johnny Ray, Top Rack. So that's going to be exciting to see. And the first round of the season.
First round of the season, normally good weather, and Bautista on the Ducati with the extra weight. Looking forward
already
to that.
Complaining about it.
Yeah, he is.
Already excuses starting.
Yeah, I know.
I got a prediction that it's going to be super hot that weekend, I reckon.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, like 40 degrees.
Ooh.
Super, super hot. Maybe not 40 at Phillip Island because I don't think it's physically possible with the ocean breeze, but maybe 40 in Melbourne. I just got a feeling.
Which is like 26 in Phillip Island.
So let's jump to MotoGP. Talk to us about some testing because I'm super excited about it.
Oh, okay. So it's this Sepang test it's on now. When we're recording this, the Sepang shakedown test has just finished. So in 2 days, so I think it's Wednesday Australia time is when the Sepang official test starts.
Yep.
When all the riders are out. But this is cool this year because of all the concessions. So Yamaha was out in a shakedown test. Honda was out. You have Pedro Costa out in the KTM because he's a rookie.
Gotcha. So obviously for the listeners at home, just talk us through that. So Ducati weren't allowed to participate in the shakedown?
Yeah, Ducati were with Piro, so test riders still are.
Okay.
But because of the concessions for Honda and Yamaha, they can have their proper factory riders out there because they need more time to test, aero engine to catch up to Ducati or Aprilia or KTM. Pedro Acosta's allowed to be out there because he's a rookie.
Fair enough.
And you got Danny Pedrosa out there as well. What a good test rider for fucking KTM that is.
So Marquez allowed out on the Ducati?
Nah.
Interesting.
Nah.
Interesting. That hurts him.
A little bit, yeah. But he does get 3 days on that on the 2023 now. Grassini, so that's going to be really interesting. Like Valencia, obviously, he was on the 2022 then.
Yeah.
So this will be first on a 2023 bike. So,
gotcha.
Marini came out and said he's really happy with the direction of Honda.
Interesting.
So they've listened to him through the off season after the Valencia test. Johan Zarco said the same thing. Nakagami said the same thing. So
okay,
that's
man. If Honda come out and have an okay year, I mean,
that's what they need.
It's going to be great for the sport. But I mean, it'd be great for the sport. They just need to be finishing consistently in the top 10
and not getting fucking launching riders to the moon for no reason as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He did say though, Luca Marini is. He said it's still It's still lacking rear grip. The Honda.
Yeah. And that's been its problem for years.
That's what they needed. That's what they need to fix. So Zarco again said he's happy with what they've brought. He thought it was going to be a lot worse. He was pleasantly surprised, basically, is what he said. And they reckon they've gained about 7/10.
That's pretty huge.
So that's massive. So they are on their way, which is really, really good. It's just going to be interesting to see how that compares to the real test.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting. There was some looking at some results today, and not more like facts and things that looked like KTM's bike had a lot more aero on it.
Yeah, they're testing out heaps of aero of Danny. So Like they had a little front wing spoiler thing on the front guard, which looks terrible, but it's just the way it is. Like everyone's is different. All the Hondas, like, Honda looks like a completely different bike.
Yeah. What about the Yamaha? They launched their bike today.
Yeah, it's like just
any difference?
Check out our Instagram reel. It's funny, but it looks exactly the same still. It's even the paint job the same. It's a joke. So they're fucked for this year. Poor Fabio. Like there's like at least like Honda's throwing 4 different bikes at it. We'll keep saying it.
What is it? Just complacency, or is it just arrogance, or like what is it? Like
I think it's just lack of development.
But they've got the money. Like they've got the budget, surely.
Traditionally, Honda's always just been heaps more gung-ho at it.
Yamaha just conservative.
But it's just not working. In this aerodynamic world now, it's not working. So, yeah, it's fucked, man.
What do we think about... I heard rumours that the riders don't want all these devices. They don't want the whole shot devices. They don't want aero. And MotoGP are insisting on this to be that technologically advanced option. So going away from like the superbikes is that more stock standard bike, MotoGP being like a F-18 fighter jet.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, is it somewhere you need to show technology? Obviously, MotoGP is that brand of.
It's a fine line.
It is
because it's their prototypes. So I get that they want to develop their super bikes and whatever their production bikes, but I think when it starts to intercept racing. When it's starting to slow down racing, where it's not making Grand Prix as watchable, is when they need to pull their finger at. Like electronics, it's not that great, but they had electronics when Marc Marquez or Rossi or Stoner was racing, and it was still pretty good racing, especially with the Marquez Dovi days. It's just the aero. I reckon they just need to cut down on the aero. I think that's the biggest thing. They can cut down on the aero, because that's what's just stopping all the passing.
Yeah, I mean, talking to a couple of people that we know, it's sort of there's some concern out there looking into the next couple of years with all these devices and especially the aero.
Well, you look back into you'll remember this 2012, 2013. Remember there was only like 12 bikes, 15 bikes on the grid because it was getting so expensive.
Yeah,
because they were all having their own ECUs.
Yeah,
Honda would have their ECU, Yamaha would whatever. And then Dorna said, all right, we're going to go to a controlled ECU with Magneti Marelli. Which is
probably one of the best things they've done.
Because that sport was dying at that stage.
Yeah.
And then...
Was that the CRT?
And then it brought the CRTs in.
Yeah.
And then just to fill up the grid.
Yep.
Shout out to pod favourite Brian Starring for racing that category.
And Damon Cullen.
And Damo Cullen. But that Magneti Marelli, I think it was the first year was with Marc Marquez. Marc Marquez's first year, 2013. But that's what... It brought the sport back to being close again. I think they need to do something along those lines of the aero.
Allow 2 winglets each side of the bike.
Yeah, something, or just control it somehow. Like there's got to be something.
Manufacturers last year were putting wings on the back of the bike just so they disturb the air for the bike.
Right.
That's just ridiculous.
Or they would set up like qualifying. Honda would have qualifying winglets, so they would set it up just for qualifying. And I love the winglets when it first came in, but now it makes the bikes look like the Ducati is, I think, super ugly. Hate it. Looks gross.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the winglets have to stay now because they're on full production bikes, but the front wings, the rear wings, the side fairings, like it's too much.
It's too much. They need to do something.
Yeah.
They need to control it. They need to just, control it a bit more.
I don't think anyone out there goes, oh my God, yes, like they're a good looking bike, but they looked amazing back 5-10 years ago.
5 years ago, they were Suzuki's.
Yeah, they
Beautiful
were amazing
bike.
Looking bike.
Yeah. So all the winglets now just make it look like trash. It's just not what a motorcycle should look like.
No, they look like miniature cars now. Like
they
they're
just
so
look like
wide.
A Formula One car with 2 wheels.
Yeah,
it's too much. So yeah, it's gross. I don't like it.
I don't think everyone's got the same opinion. I don't think I've ever seen a comment on Instagram with her, oh my God, I love the wings and I love the front wings and I love this and I love that. How good's the whole shot device? Like, if they just take away the whole shot device, then it'd be the same.
Maverick Vinales would still fucking starts.
I reckon it's actually probably helped you. It probably helps you without it because it's just, I don't know. He's fucking hopeless at the starts and feel that full tank. But fuck.
So yeah, it's funny.
So first race of the season, Qatar.
Argentina's been cancelled.
Yes.
So the new fucking president,
Government,
whatever, government, I know they were cutting down heaps of costs or something like that. So that sucks. So I like when they go to the South American rounds.
Yeah,
good track, underrated track. That
great
Argentina
track. I don't think it's a massive loss for us personally because it's on in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but still, it's always good race. It's always good racing.
Well, do you remember that incident with Marquez and Rossi?
Yeah, it punted him fairly as well.
Yeah, it was funny. That was actually happened. That happened 2 years before after the incident at Sepang.
Yeah. It was a couple of years after.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an interesting one.
He was riding way too aggressive. Even I could admit that. I was fucked, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and that's probably where he's got his. Obviously, not everyone thinks he's the best ever like you, but he's definitely got his positive traits and his negative traits. So,
talking about best ever, I wrote this down.
Yeah,
just as a bit of a fun question.
Is it another poll?
Season? No, it's no poems.
Oh,
might bring that back one day. I'll get ChatGPT to write me out one. Mount Rushmore of MotoGP. You got 4 riders, best to ever do it in whatever way you think. What's your Mount Rushmore of MotoGP riders?
Oh, okay. Rossi, number 1. Now, I always consider when I say best of, I think, what do they bring to the sport? Okay. So, Rossi has to be number 1. Yep. Now, I'm a person who didn't grow up with watching MotoGP in the 90s and early 2000s like you did. So, I can't talk about the Criviers, I mean, we're not going to say Biaggi's in that scenario, but you're going to say, as an Aussie perspective, you're going to say Mick Doohan, you're going to say Casey Stoner, you're going to say Rossi.
So that's 3?
And you're going to say Marquez.
Okay. That's cool. 2 Aussies in there. Rossi, Marquez, Stoner, Doohan.
What about you?
Yeah, Rossi, Marquez, I'm going to go Kenny Roberts Sr. And Giacomo Agostini.
Yeah, okay. Going right back.
Yeah. For just pure Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones. Stoner and Doohan, close 5, 6. Easily could be on there. But I think Agostini of 16 world titles, what he did back in the day, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And Kenny Roberts Sr., I think, just changed how to ride a motorcycle, dragging the knee, sliding that bike around as well.
Yeah, that's a great insight because that's probably not... The younger viewers probably wouldn't know this.
Yeah.
And, it's an interesting way of looking at things, how they've changed the sport in a positive way.
Yeah.
Even look at Gary McCoy.
Yeah.
I mean, how he rode a motorcycle, changed what everyone thought was the right way of doing it. So, not that people ride the bike like that now, but it's amazing where tyre wears come from what people thought, what happened with the tyres. So,
he helped develop tyres.
Yeah.
He was spinning them up so much, it was only the outside getting hot.
Yeah.
And the carcass was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he could still last the whole race.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, I think Doohan's 5 titles as an Aussie is just amazing. Yeah. And the last 6 months we've been doing this, everyone we speak to is like, Stoner was the most talented rider I've ever seen.
Man, yeah.
So it's interesting that, yes, we talk about how he struggled with the media and how he walked away from the sport, but what he did in 07 with that Ducati is just amazing. I remember sitting there, turn 12 with you, and I said, James, what's going on? How was he leading the race? And his teammate is fucking 20 seconds behind the back of the pack. How does it work?
I know, fuck.
Because looking at, being a Formula One fan, coming from the Formula One side of things, the teammates were 2 cents apart if they were different, you know? So it's amazing how he rode that motorcycle. And
an unrideable motorcycle, obviously, because no one else could do it for
But imagine him
years.
on a Repsol Honda with
Marquez
call it last year on that bike. Imagine those two wring the absolute neck out of that bike to get it up there.
Oh, yeah. Imagine 2013 when they were both at the peak of their powers almost.
Yeah.
But it's funny how things work because Doohan could have been racing with Valentino Rossi as teammates when he came in. But then he retired that year early and we couldn't see that. And then it was...
Rossi, in all due respect to him, probably should have retired a few years earlier than he did. But he probably went on a few too many years. But it just seems to be always a changing the guard in MotoGP.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think, if Pecco wins this year, then it is really changing the guard, because I don't think there's any more, because he's a 3-time champion in a row. Like, yeah, that he's the man.
Yeah, he is. God, it's amazing, and we'll probably look back at it and appreciate it more.
Yeah.
I think it to a level of like we think. I'm always going to say Martin not he deserved the title more last year because it was all the sprint races that he got his points in.
Yeah, I think Pecco still deserved it.
But it's just I just felt like he rode the bike better and more aggressive and was better to watch last year. But
do you know what it is? Is what doesn't help Pecco and what people's like thoughts are of him is aero.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he just gets out in front and no one can pass. Where like if it's Rossi or Marquez or Dovi or whoever, Stoner.
Yeah,
like,
there was no... Yeah.
You could pass again. But yeah, definitely Mount Rushmore with Roberts and Agostini is Rossi, just because of what he brought to the sport. He put the sport, on the map.
On the map, man.
Yeah, in a big way.
The amount of viewership because of him would be doubled because he was around.
And he almost bought... He brought a lot of personality just to sport in general.
Yeah,
into
100%.
motorsport. Yeah. Like I think Senna had quite a bit of personality. He used to say obviously some famous quotes. I don't think Michael Schumacher was still a bit of a robot in a way.
Yeah, 100%. Michael Schumacher doesn't have those die-hard fans. Like he has fans, but the die-hard fans that Senna had and the die-hard fans that Rossi had,
completely different.
Completely different.
Like you have to be a massive fan for Diego Maradona to go all the way from Argentina to San Marino.
Yeah.
To kiss Rossi on the hand after he wins a race.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta
transcend sport.
He's one of the biggest sportsmen in the world.
Yeah,
would have been on the fucking bags hard, but when he's sweating up a storm. But like that, you have to be just a mega star.
100%.
And he was in the top, I think 6 in 1 or 2 years. I think 06, 07, he was in the top 5 or 6 highest paid sportsmen in the world over, tennis players, boxers, soccer players, whatever it is. So,
and such a recognizable face.
And the number. Like he was one of the first, if not the first, to market his number.
Yeah.
Probably the first. Who else marketed their number before him?
I can't think.
Because Formula One, you had to run, if you won a title, it was 1.
Bro, it was 1 to 20.
Yeah, it was 1 to 20. Yeah. It was just 1, then Barrichello was always 2.
And then 2, it was, and
3
third and 4 was the second.
So you couldn't market your number. No. He was the first one to do it.
Well, F1 only started that in 2014, 15, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So you could pick your own number. So, it's true. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, like, Schumacher ran 5 for a couple of years.
Yeah. Senna had it in 8.
Yeah. Like, people don't realize that.
Yeah. So that's the funny thing. He did transcend the sport so much in that, and he just ran that big fluorescent yellow, which I think the
doctor as well, like that whole persona of him.
That's right.
He changed everything. Like now everyone has a nickname.
Yeah, Martinator. Go Free. Fucking shit out.
But I mean Mavericks.
Mighty Mav.
Yeah, or Top Gun.
Top Gun. Yeah.
So that's
Quadrara, El Diablo.
I don't like that one either. Oh shit, that was shit ass.
Yeah,
but I mean that's what it's all about is marketing yourself, and only the best get away with the stuff that Rossi. You have to prove it on the track.
Fuck
yeah, you can't like.
You can't be in 10th.
No.
You can't.
The Martinator's cool. I like that.
Martinators, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's PG.
Yeah, there's no real like crazy good ones. Maybe Acosta might come up with something.
He's a shark.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind that.
That's cool. The shark.
But the doctor, I guess, is just that's fucking.
But it's so out there.
It's so out there, and it's because he's just a very important person. The doctor's very important.
And he's calculated sort of. I don't know how he got started it and how it came.
Like I think it was his dad.
So on the 500s when he was in when he was in 250s and stuff, was he called the doctor then?
Yeah, he had the doctor then.
Did he really?
Because he only had a celebration and they put a white coat and stuff on him and the stethoscope and stuff like that.
I didn't know that. I really didn't know that he, as through his whole career, he was like that.
I'm assuming maybe the 125s, but definitely 250s. This is where we need Daniel. He'll know more.
True. Yeah. Get off your deathbed, Daniel.
And then Marquez obviously because of just pure talent, I reckon.
When's the first race of the season? And was it first week of March?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, so excited! It's gonna be so good.
I know. And then they had the I think Barcelona test when they're all on Panigales and Hondas. They didn't release Marquez's times, but I got a hold of his times.
42.6 or something.
42.7.
42.7. Yeah, he's sort of mid pack.
He's quicker than Bagnaia and all those boys in the V4. So anyway, it's interesting. And talking about times, Pedro Acosta doing a 158.1.
Yeah.
Lap records 157.5. So there's only 6/10 off it on a test.
How do they do that?
That's fucking. I think
he's the next alien man.
Man, he's that KDM or that gas already looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good.
Though he's already doing those times says so much. Like he's still getting used to the bike.
Oh, it just they're freaks.
Man, he's a freak.
And like there's no other, like you need to have that X factor, and there's only a handful of riders that have it. So
yeah, he's definitely one.
Yeah, he is.
What's your prediction? What's your prediction with Acosta? And what's your prediction with more interesting one, Zarco this year?
I don't see Zarco doing anything outrageous. I don't see him consistently finishing in top fives or anything like that. I don't even see him top 10.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, it's not something that's crossed my mind. I think he's been on a good bike in the last 5 years. He's won one race. We saw it live.
Yeah.
Yes, he's there or thereabouts, but I don't know if he has that extra X factor as we just touched on. Acosta's improving more and more in every day. Like,
I think he's on for a few podiums this year.
A few podiums, Jim.
Yeah, I think he's on.
You
for
reckon he's going to get a few podiums?
Yeah.
Are we talking sprint race podiums? Or are we talking real race podiums?
No, I'm thinking real race podiums. I wouldn't be surprised at sprint race, but it's hard to know with him. He hasn't done it.
Wow.
But I think Grand Prix, I think he's on for a few podiums. I think he's got that X factor.
That's huge, man. But that's amazing. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Like, the kid's going to jump on a MotoGP bike and get a podium. That is going to be crazy. I don't see him getting a podium, but top 4, top 5s.
Those bikes are fucking, those KDMs,
We'll
gases. Yeah, they're very good.
Got to think about tyre wear, but that's the other big thing with MotoGP. Tyre wear, you have to learn that. And it's very, very hard. You can be quick on one lap, but to do it over 25 laps, different story.
It is, but he was very good at that at Moto2 as well, where they learn it.
He was. He is a bit of a calculated guy. Like, he won the championship. Yeah. He sat back. He didn't get too aggressive after that. Like, it was a real mature ride.
Yeah.
He sat behind your boy Furman Aldeguer.
Yeah.
Let him win those races. He probably could have attacked.
Maybe.
But why get injured when you're going to be testing a MotoGP bike? It's very smart.
Yeah.
Like, Guru wouldn't have been that smart.
I agree. Would have been a 19th, still fucking throwing it down the road.
True. What am I saying? But like, it's always to be so. It's like their heart rate slows down in pressure situations. That's the difference. Like, I know. It's just these guys. Like,
yeah. How do they think through it?
Yeah, it's
in
just
such
crazy.
a chaotic moment.
It's just been bred into them.
Or they've been doing it for so many years, so many repetitions. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going back to our interviews with the 3 young boys. Senna, Jacob, and
Joel.
And Joel, these guys, they're 19-year-old kids, but they've been riding bikes for forever, 5-10 years. I mean, Senna got his first bike when I think you said he was 3 years old or something. So, funny, like Senna leaving, we had the podcast finished and he had this little monkey bike that he was on and just fucking turned around on one leg, swung it, did a 360, just zoomed off. Like, these bike control, like, it's just those small things you notice. It's just crazy. So, I'm like, with the Toyota trying to like clunk, 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 clunk. Luke will like that one. But yeah, it's just these. Yeah, it was interesting to see.
And there's so much, obviously, like there's so much repetition to those guys, but there's still natural talent there as well. I still think they're bred differently to other people.
Oh yeah, they are, and they've got loose screws. Like they have to, like to fly down 300 k's an hour going into turn 1 at Phillip Like. Yeah, until you do it, you wouldn't know how hard it is.
Yeah, that's it.
And we're talking to our mates who do, track days and stuff. Like most of the public are lifting halfway through the straight because you're getting too far. You're going too fast. These guys are shifting down a gear and leaning into the corner,
not even braking in a turn.
It's just crazy, So, as you can tell, we're very excited.
Oh fuck! Can't wait.
And we're so in it now. Like to be in. I'm going to say we're in the industry that
Yeah.
to be in it and to know what's happening behind the scenes. It's so much more exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Getting
You just need to watch it and experience the stories, like the
Yeah.
stories, the battles, the personalities, and that's where we've seen Drive to Survive being so successful because people understand. Oh my god, these guys are crazy. They're so good. So
they are crazy and they are so good. Just I don't know how they do it, and it's the competition to even get there. So
and to stay there, you might get the ride. Like you look at the Darren Binders of the world, you get your dream ride in MotoGP, and boom, now it's back to Moto2.
You kind of have sometimes. I reckon you just have to be right place, right time.
Tito Rabat winning a Moto2 championship, doing absolutely nothing in MotoGP,
or Quartararo getting onto a good bike.
At the right time.
At the right time,
So it's super interesting that, and motorsports just year by year. We spoke to Joel about this as well. Like he might have a great year, might change his whole life, his whole career. So
it's very true. It's a very good point. Probably one of the last things to talk about with MotoGP though is VR46. So last year on their contract, Yamaha have unveiled a bike that looks to be exactly the same. Again, check out our Instagram for our reel. It's like being in an abusive relationship with them. Seriously. Is he going to hit me again? Yeah, he's going to hit me again.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, I just fell down the stairs.
That's how Quartararo feels right now.
Yeah, legit. So Yucho's come out and says he wants to sign with Ducati.
Okay.
Yeah. But he is in talks with Yamaha and KTM.
No way.
Yeah. So being with Yamaha is not a foregone conclusion. And if they're stinking this year, then it makes so much sense, obviously, for them to go. But why would you want to leave a Ducati? Or if you got the option to go to a KTM, you would do that. It's just awkward because Rossi's a brand ambassador for Yamaha.
So that would mean 6 bikes each for KTM and Ducati.
Which is what KTM want. They want 6 bikes. So VR46 Husqvarna team, let's just say.
God, it's just such a wacky scenario though, because Rossi's just got no affiliation with KTM at all.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's got none with Ducati.
Yeah, how many rode for him before? Italian.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing.
Yeah, still. So anyway, he's come out and said that. I don't know what to make of that. Like, does he... it makes so much sense to go to Yamaha. It's good for the sport if he goes to Yamaha.
Yeah, the sport needs it.
Yeah.
Having 4 Yamahas on the grid at least.
But being Marco Bezzecchi, do you really want to go to Yamaha? Like, he's now getting into the peak of his powers. Like, he's there as the champ. Wants to be the champ, I should say. He's signed with VR46 out of loyalty. Does he really want to be with Yamaha? Probably not.
No, who would want to be Yamaha?
That's right.
So,
unless they do something this year, it'd have to be pretty drastic. So, anyway, that would be really interesting.
Yeah,
and what that's and Yucho said he wants to sign with Ducati before the season starts. Before Qatar.
There's got to be there's got to be something for him to come out in the press to say that he's putting pressure on somewhere. 100%. I don't know if he's putting pressure on Ducati or Yamaha. He's putting pressure on somewhere.
Yeah,
so
that's a really good point. So, I'm actually leaning that they're not going to sign with Yamaha. I really am. I don't think they're gonna. I don't see it. I don't see it at the moment.
If he shut up and didn't say anything, it all road leads to the Yamaha. But now he's come out and said that
and talking to KTM.
Yeah,
maybe he's trying to put pressure on Yamaha to be like, sort your shit out. Who knows? Yeah. You think Rossi has enough sway though?
100%. Why would he need to do that? There's an issue there somewhere.
The most marketable person in motorcycling history. We've said it before, but he's the man you want VR46 on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense for the sport. But you know what? KTM also makes perfect sense. For him to stay on the Ducati would probably be the worst scenario for us. But the best scenario for probably Bezzecchi. But a Bezzecchi on a KTM,
that'd still be good.
That'd be good.
It'd still be good. But like, they need less Ducatis, and I know that's what they want. They want to get rid of one Ducati team, which is looking to be probably
8's too many bikes.
Yeah,
eight's too many bikes. Yeah, you need more even.
Yeah, really, you only want four for each team.
Well, 4 for each team would be a perfect amount, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what you really want.
Yeah. Or that wouldn't be enough bikes. They need another manufacturer, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's where Suzuki came in.
Yeah.
I heard BMW were floating around, but I've heard that for a while.
Oh, it's just, you come into the GP paddock, you have to have a 5-year plan before even thinking about winning a race.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
It depends if they want to spend the money.
And Aprilia did that. Like, it's the same with Suzuki now. They came in, they knew what they were going to do, and now Suzuki won a title, and Aprilia, I think, have got the bike now to be capable of doing that. But do they have the riders? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that's the best bike on the grid. So.
Yeah, that's where Quartararo's going to go.
Yeah, you have to say.
Yeah.
Another reason for why Yamaha needs to sign VR46, because they need some marketable something to go into the future.
And like, if you said 6 years ago, oh my god, factory Yamaha is going to have Alex Rins and Fabio Quartararo on the bike, you go, what a fucking team.
Yeah.
What a fucking team.
And then they come out with the same fucking shitbox like they have for the past 5 years.
Yeah, it looks the same as Rossi's Fiat Yamaha. Some wings bolted onto it. So I've got no engineering skills whatsoever. I can hardly draw a motorcycle. I'm going to develop a better fucking bike than that. Honestly, it's the most frustrating thing ever.
It is.
Do you reckon the head of Yamaha, Mr. Yamaha, just goes, how do I fuck all these fans for one more year?
No, they're in a board meeting. Mr. Yamaha, please, we're going to change the bike. No, change the bike. It stay the same. That's what happened. Mr. Consistent. That's exactly. It's just a simple conservativeness that they must have.
Yeah.
And then you see it in their road bikes to a certain extent as well. They're pretty
a little bit.
They're pretty plain Jane, not any revolutionary sort of design.
The other one was back in 15, but they haven't really changed it since.
The MT range is pretty cool. Like,
that's cool.
It is pretty
That's
like
smart.
different looking. Yeah. But
like, you know, it took Honda for Marc Marquez to leave to shove a fucking firecracker up there.
Which is stupid. They should have done this 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
And they've always had the ego as well. That's why Rossi left, because they said the Honda was winning because of Honda, not because of Valentino in the minute. But yeah, Mr. Yamaha, if you're listening to this, which we definitely know you are, you gotta stop. You gotta hire some Europeans. Yeah. Daniel knows a few guys, a couple of cousins, make up some bikes. And you gotta fucking just overhaul that thing.
They have to.
It's a joke. Talk to me, Tom, about V8s. What's going on? Because it's looking. This is the worst. This is the worst way to start a season for any motorsport.
I'm not laughing this time. It's really bad. This is really bad. We got ridiculed last time for laughing at this.
People agreed though.
People agreed. But there's some lovers of the sport out there, and it looks like they just need a full overhaul. So Brodie Kostecki, apparently sitting out the first race of the season.
So reigning champion just won the title last year.
Yes, reigning champion just won the title. So obviously some sort of contract disagreement with obviously Erebus Motorsport, his team. They've come out and told a press release and said, we are replacing him with Todd Hazelwood for just the first round. It is very important that he's still part of the team, but he's sitting at the first round. Now, nobody knows, I'm sure people do, but the public doesn't know why this is.
Which is, I don't think is a good thing.
So, my opinion, Erebus has released a statement saying Brodie's still part of the team, as I just touched on. But I think that report is just to buy it some time to work this out.
But it's been a while now.
Well, yeah, it's been a week or two.
2 weeks almost.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It looks like he's obviously talking to a NASCAR team. It's just so hard. I mean, the first race of the season is 3 weeks ago, and they've developed this new 500 kilometer Bathurst race for the first race of the season, and it was going to be their new thing, and now this is just going to be the talk of the town. So the other big thing to come out of this is Peter Adderton, who owns Boost Mobile, has pulled his sponsorship from Erebus.
Oh, okay, right.
Has pulled his sponsorship from the Gold Coast race.
Because he's been big into that.
Huge.
He's put heaps of dollars into it.
And he's sponsored Brodie Kostecki since he was a younger bloke. So he's and we've seen him at
GP. I think he sponsors Chad Reed for a long time as well.
Yeah, so big into motorsport, and for him to come out, and I follow him on Facebook, to come out and said, we've pulled our sponsorship for the Gold Coast 500 or 600, whatever it is, and we've pulled our sponsorship from Erebus, is just a show of something's fucking fucked up here. So interesting things to play out, and yeah, it's just not what Not
It's not what the sport needs. So do you reckon, because I've heard a few things, like obviously they're all rumors. I don't know what's true or not. This is all just, we're all just sort of guessing.
Yep.
But I've heard that, he's gone over to test a NASCAR and he can't get out of it. And he's going to go test a NASCAR in that first week of
Yeah,
V8s.
there was some reports that a NASCAR team has come out and said, if you're here to test the car, you come on this weekend. That's when we're testing. That's the same weekend as obviously the Bathurst 500. So that would be probably the biggest scenario. The other scenario is they've just had a contract dispute and he's gone, well, fuck this. I'm sitting out of the first round
That's pretty big.
as a fuck you to the team.
Either way, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
And not what the sport needs.
No. And look, there's multiple factors of supercars and why it's the popularity has lessened over the last few years. And hopefully we're going to have a few V8 drivers on in the next few months. Not that they want to sit here and talk about that, but it's always good to see their inside of the sport.
It still is. Like it's weird though, because I think Gold Coast and Bathurst last year had massive numbers in attendance.
Yeah,
so there's still something there.
Yeah, definitely.
Scotty Pye came out, and I'm going to paraphrase this, and I'm probably going to butcher it as well, but I saw him on Instagram make a post talking about the Brodie Kostecki situation and more just at V8s in general.
Yep.
He says, well, the sport is, slowing up. It's lost its popularity because they're not allowing the drivers to show personality. He says they need a docuseries to show personality. They need fans need to latch on to a persona, whether that be, David Reynolds or Scotty Pye or Brodie Kostecki, but they need to almost release the shackles a bit and let them be themselves to then allow them to market themselves. You see so many other sports do it. We just spoke about Valentino Rossi.
Yeah.
You look at how Lando Norris is and why people love him. Lewis Hamilton, rah.
Yeah. 100%.
Where the sport doesn't have that. And I thought that was a really good point by him.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, he looked at Ambrose back in the day and Scaife to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Brock
was the biggest one. Yeah.
Arm out a thing and, waving to the fans, having that personality.
Yeah,
now,
what was his name? Stephen Richards calling Balthazar a pack of arseholes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not to that extent, but
But those, I mean, even the racing now, you go up the inside and you touch someone, it's a drive-through penalty and that sort of thing. And people don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So that level of the sport is changed, and it's free to air as well. Free to air is the other thing. Is these 7-year-old diggers want to sit down and watch the sport on Sunday? They don't fucking know what KO is. They don't have Foxtel. They can't afford Foxtel. They got their TV. They got their VB stubbies in the cooler. They just want to watch a race, and they can't. So, and that stems down from then his son doesn't watch it. Then the kids don't watch it, and then that's just a that's a revolving thing.
And it's like not the cool thing to do. Where it's cool to watch Formula One or whatever.
Same thing at cricket. I mean, one day cricket, the popularity of that is just falling because there's no advertising for it anymore. I remember back in the day, we had one day cricket on Channel 9. It was like an event.
It was massive.
Richie Beno, Tony Gregg, and it was massive. You sat down all Sunday and watched it. They had fucking 10,000 people at the MCG the other day.
Yeah, I know.
So sports change, and they got to move with the change. Formula One's moved with the change.
Yeah.
MotoGP to a certain extent. I mean, there's still a bit of a push there. Tennis. I mean, Golf, massive. Live you got to move with the times. You can't just stay the same, and that's
all about the personality now. You can't rest on your laurels on just a product.
No, because people have so much choice now. On a Sunday, you got 14,000 things to watch
or do
100%. Now you sit down, you can watch that. Oh, I want to watch that because I've been watching a series on that. I'm really interested in that. I've been watching the NASCAR series at the moment on Netflix. They're going to Drive to Survive style.
I did see that.
And man, I'm looking forward to watching the NASCAR. Because it's so interesting knowing and someone explained to me
left.
Well, no, that NASCAR, that how they decide the championship is fucking wild. Okay, they've got elimination races and all sorts of shit.
Any of it, man. It doesn't make any sense.
Me either. I don't want to watch it because we don't get it. Yeah. But you watch the series like that, you go, okay, I understand. They start with 16 drivers and they go down to 12 and they go down to 8 and then they have a final shootout. So, I mean, I'd be fucking filthy if I won. All the races of the year was that big on points, and then I lost the championship to some young kid who won 4 races in a row.
Yeah.
But it's just how it is, how they do it. And it's probably viewership, and you know how the States do it. It's all about...
man, I tried watching the the NFL the other day, like the playoffs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I used to watch it when I was a bit younger.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through it because every like 30 seconds they're gonna cut to a commercial
Yeah,
break, and there's like 4 minutes of ads, and then they play one play. It's like, oh, I'm gonna cut to it. It's just too commercialized.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. It's it's interesting, and it's still got a good product. Like I still like Bathurst. I mean, we sat there for a few hours Bathurst and like, there's not much going on, but it's still a product. It's still just, cool cars.
It is.
They've still got the cool tracks. So they've still got the recipe. They just need to.
Well, I don't know about the cars. I don't know about the cars.
Yeah,
not
it's
relatable.
Hard. But what do you do?
That's one thing I really don't know how you fix. You can. Well, you know what? Yeah, you can fix that because you can't buy a Formula One car either. People still watch that.
Yeah, I know, but
people can't buy a Ferrari.
But you turn it into a GT racing category, and there's already that around, you know. Like, what do you do? A stock car racing?
What I'm saying is you can still leave it on how it is.
Yeah,
because people can't buy a GT or a Formula One car, so it's obviously maybe more personality driven. You know,
got to remember the best selling car in the world at the moment is a Tesla Model Y. Like, that's the way the world is. Like it's just changed. We talk about Formula E as well.
Yeah, you got some big thoughts on that.
Well, I was having this discussion with my old man over the weekend, and he if he had the cash and owned the track, he would love to see Formula E come to Australia. And I think the level of getting that down to Phillip Island would be cool, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seeing those cars and the EV market being so big in Australia now, I really think that could be a possibility going into the future.
That'd be interesting on how that would work. If just say they did that, how many fans would turn up?
I think they'd get a good outing.
Yeah,
I really would.
Drive to Survive fans.
I 100%, because I think fast cars around Phillip Island is always interesting. You don't see the supercars go there anymore.
You don't see really anyone.
I mean, you've never seen a Formula One car go around there. They're quick cars. They're obviously don't make the noise, but the racing's quite good. So that could be something in the future that could be interesting.
They don't do Formula. Is that got any association with Formula One, or is that a totally different thing?
It's all FIA.
It's all FIA.
Yeah.
Do they do a Formula E, Formula One same weekend, same track?
No, they don't. No,
I didn't think so.
No, the tracks are slightly different. You've got also like EV charging passing zones, so you go to the left of the track to get like a boost and all sorts of stuff. They had fan. You can vote who's. I'm
telling you, that's the future of Formula One though.
Yeah.
Formula E, I can easily see as the future of Formula One.
But there's also a Formula E Drive to Survive style of program out as well. And my old man's been watching that, and he thought it was pretty cool coming from a petrol head background. So
from Kilmore.
Kilmore, yeah.
I don't think any Teslas have gone through Kilmore.
You'd be surprised, mate. Bloody hell, you'd be surprised. Everyone's buying electric cars these days.
Yeah, true. And remember when we got the Wollongong and we were filling up my car and we looked at the charging station, they were full. But imagine if you had to then wait for someone for half an hour and then
this is yours. We're gonna talk about this in another podcast. That's EV Republica.
It's just
yeah, it's a the car market's an interesting one. So, but yeah, going back to V8, you just got to adapt with the times and
they need to do that.
Yeah, like a Stan is owned by Channel 9.
Yeah,
do a V8 Supercar series.
Yeah, I reckon they're just scared of throwing the money at it, but obviously the drivers want to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
They want the change.
Yeah, because it builds their clout as well.
Yeah, correct. I don't know. That's I've got nothing else to say on
it. Yeah.
If anyone listening works in V8s, knows anything about V8s, would love to have a driver or someone in the team on, or someone not to criticize, but we'd just like to know what's going on.
Yeah. I think hopefully over the next couple of weeks we'll have that person or persons coming on.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but reach out to us if you want to have a chat.
Yeah, bloody oath. Look, last on the agenda is just a quick one. Supercross, I should say. Super, super good season realistically coming up while we're here. Tight championship, Jet Lawrence, couple of good muddy races. I think we got Chase Sexton a point ahead of a Jet in the title. It's just a good close season.
Yep.
I thought Jet was just going to run away with it.
He's been unlucky to a certain extent with the weather. Obviously, he's not the best wet rider, you could say.
Yeah.
And has it been 2 wet races?
2 wet races in a row. So
he's just he's a
Yeah.
really he's
clean, smooth.
smooth as butter. Yeah,
He did better in the second time. I think he got 4th or 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
Jorge Prado racing from MXGP. He raced, I think, the first 3 rounds, did really good in one of the mud races, typical Euros. So always do good well in the mud. But well done to him for moving over. But yeah, if anyone's looking to get into Supercross or follow another Aussie, like we always harp on about him, Hunter and Jet, very cool. So it's a good one. It's a good one to watch anyway.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, cool.
Just excited for Sepang Test now.
Yeah, we've got a special guest next week, which we'll unveil later in the week. We've got a new sponsor coming on board as well, which we're super stoked about. So that'll all be unveiled in the upcoming episode next week. So be sure to tune in.
That's all right.
And we've got some merch, new merch dropping soon. So
that will be, by the time this is out, it'll already be out. So head to motorsportrepublica.com.au.
Yeah.
And you'll see all our new tees. We've got Verstappen.
Yeah. Ricardo. Jet and Hunter Lawrence tee.
Yeah. Leclerc. Yeah. And a Marc Marquez one. So size is small to 3XL, and we've also got the Leclerc and a ladies.
Yeah, we have first women's tee, so we're super stoked about that. We have a lot of female listeners, a lot of females buying our air fresheners and want to keep their car smelling mint. So yeah, super stoked.
Yeah, so hop on, have a look. All the support obviously means a lot to us as well.
100%. Yeah, all the support. We love it. We love you guys, and we're so excited for 2024.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Peace out.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, bye.